View transitions have finally dropped inside of Next.js, and honestly, it's one of the most exciting updates from the latest release. Now, initially, I was using ViewMotion. That would roughly add about 40 to 60 kilobytes to my JavaScript bundle, but with View transitions, I don't have to worry about it anymore. If you're paying roughly a 40 kilobyte animation tax just for a page to fade in, that's 40 kilobytes of JavaScript the browser has to execute before a user even sees a single frame move. So that's expensive. On the other hand, the View Transition API runs on the browser's compositor. It's buttery smooth, 60 frames per second, and honestly, it's amazing. But here's the thing, it already existed in the browser. React also has a component for it called as ViewTransition, and now Next.js has finally caught up to it and wired it together so we could use that in the app router. It's native, it's declarative, and honestly a massive win for performance. So now let's take a boring app and add some oomph to it, some animations to it to make it buttery smooth. So let's dive in. The first step for us to do is that we first need to opt in. This API is experimental, so what we need to do is go to the next config file and add a experimental flag here and set view transition equals true. Now your entire app is opted into view transition. This is what tells Next.js to start capturing snapshots of the DOM before the route changes. So we can add animations to the rest of that app. Now this is the app where we'll be adding those buttery smooth animations. You can sort by popular, you can view a list of dogs. When you click on it, you essentially navigate to a new page. If I refresh the page, there's also a skeleton here that we show as well. And we pull this information from this HTTP status dog API, enter an HTTP status code, and it will give you a dog picture. It's a very simple API. If I click on popular again, filter equals popular gets added. That means it's a search param. We get the search params as a promise from Next.js app router. We have this dog filter component, which is a specific component. And we just simply map through the dogs and display a card, an image, and so on. Let's add a simple view transition component here, wherein when I click on a specific filter, we want it to animate. So let's see what we get out of the box. So for that, since we only want the image to animate, we can add a view transition component here directly and wrap it around image. Now view transition comes from React, so we could simply import it directly just like this. So let's hit save. Now if I go to all, you can see how the elements are rearranging itself, but in a more animated way. Already looks way better than what we had. Now this is cool. But if I click on the specific page, it just shows, right? Like we want, again, some animation. So there are some page transitions as well. This is one of the things that was a highly requested topic inside of Next.js. So if I click on it, this is essentially a dynamic route. So let's just go to page.tsx here and add a view transition to this page as well. We could simply add it because we want the animation to transition from the small image to the large image. So we can wrap it around here. And now let's add it around the div and import it from React again. Now if I go back, you can see how the card goes back to normal. You always have to think that animations have a start point and an end point, and you want to then imagine how it's going to transition. So it's essentially morphing it. So if I click on it, it transitions just like that, but you can see how all the cards are transitioning from the origin position to the new position, which is to the new page. So that's exactly how we want to wrap our view transitions as well. Now, this specific share property, it's combined with class name if new transition is being mounted and another instance with the same name is being unmounted elsewhere. It morphs from one page to the other. But one of the highly requested topics is that how do we add page transition, because that's something that a lot of us want. When we go from one page to the other, we also want to show that the page is actually transitioning. So we simply add a view transition to home page, for example. The view transition, it also takes in a enter and exit property and what the default behavior should be. So let's say we add a enter, and this is where we could define like certain names that we'll talk about. So we have enter, exit, and let's wrap this whole thing in a view transition because this is a page transition, for instance. Default will be none. When I go back to home, you can see how the page entirely transitions. And this just means that we have nav forward, nav back, default, and so on. Now we could additionally tweak this further. We could just simply go to globals.css, and right outside, we could add additional class names to define it as well. So I'm just going to copy paste the code here right outside. We have a class name for nav forward, and we are defining what the slide offset needs to be, the animation, and what the nav forward animation new should be. Now this is just part of the view transition API. It has old and new. So what should the initial state be and what should the new animation be as it transitions? So by default, it's going to be -60 and then it's going to slide in as it navigates. So that's the idea. Same for nav back as well. And then we have defined some fade and slide animations too. So now if I click on it, this is fine. But if I go back, you can see that the entire page slides in. Similarly, let's say I want the content as well to slide in over here, not just the image. We could also do something similar inside of the dynamic route too. So we could wrap it with the exact same property, and let's wrap this entire page with ViewTransition too. And let's tweak this further. Let's say that we want the exit to be none. And here, let's give it a name because so it doesn't necessarily override it. So we're going to say dog detail page, and these properties on exit, we just don't want anything. And lastly, what we need to do is inside of link, we need to say transition type is nav forward, so it actually transitions. So for example, if I go back and click on it, you can already see how the content essentially navigates forward. So it's this specific nav forward. Transition type is what it gets. So going back and going back here, it does navigate it from the right. Now, if I go back to the dynamic page, we can say that we want the exit to be more. So you could add the exact same exit here too. Again, it's all like up to your preference. And the last thing you have to remember that if we go to globals.css, we are already seeing the different styles that it maps to. So we have nav forward, nav back. And since they are standard, you could simply just start using them throughout the application to give a consistent branding and design and animation for your application. We just deleted a massive dependency that is framer motion, improved our core web vitals, and made the app feel twice as fast. This is why following the latest Next.js updates is incredibly important. But it's not just about adding new features, but about deleting the bloat that we used to need. Now, there are a bunch of mistakes that a lot of Next.js developers make. If you are interested, I'm going to link the cheat sheet down in the description, which covers the 29 common mistakes a lot of Next.js developers make. Check it out and let me know what you think. On top of that, I put the full package code on my GitHub. You could check it out in the description below as well for the link to that. If you want to see more performance-based content for Next.js, comment below and let me know what are some other topics I need to cover. So make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.